I told you he's got a hammer of a shot on him, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel, Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well, mate. I really do genuinely hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea news. Mudryk demonstrates his world class by scoring his first goal for Ukraine, but what a goal it was. Told you he's got mega shot power. Some injury updates in terms of Lavia, Chalobah, Chukwuemeka, Fabrizio Romano speaking, actually at relative length about Romeo Lavia and Chelsea's general purchase of him. Also, fun, expected goals table. Where are we? Yes, you all laughed at me before when I said the underlying data dictates Chelsea's a lot better than the results, but we've since had a turnaround, so it is relevant, and we will talk about that a little bit as well. Thanks for joining me, gang. If you want to support the content, you can like and subscribe. You're always welcome to subscribe. And yes, and I always welcome comments as well. I love reading your comments down below. We've cultivated a really quite intelligent footballing community here on the channel. Alright, so let's just read a quick update from Chelsea Football Club. It's on both Chalobah and Chukwuemeka. Interesting with Trevo, isn't it? Because I have a feeling we won't see him play for Chelsea again. Defender Trevo Chalobah and midfielder Carney Chukwuemeka have both suffered recent setbacks in their bid to return from their respective injuries sustained earlier this season. The duo will now go further review before continuing their rehabilitation at Cobham with the club's medical staff. Chukwuemeka looked like he had a really serious injury. To be honest, when they said he's going to be back quite quickly, didn't he have surgery as well? And they were like, yeah, we'll be back really soon. I thought that was a little bit fanciful, a little bit unrealistic. The fact how, at the moment, we're not playing, well, we haven't been playing with a number 10. Of course, we've spoken about this at length in recent videos. We're playing a 4-3-3 at the moment with two number 8s. Caicedo being flanked by Fernandez and Gallagher playing as a right and left number 8. And of course, we're playing a front three of Cole Palmer on the right, Nico Jackson up top, and probably Sterling or Mudryk, more on him, on the left. Kind of makes sense. So while we're not playing a number 10, to be honest, no Carney Chukwuemeka, no Christopher Nkunku, it makes sense. Yes, of course, Cole Palmer can play number 10 probably quite well as well. It's one of his, he's either a number 10 or a right winger, so he'd probably play there really, really well. And if you do that, you could think, well, in that case, we can move Raheem Sterling over to right wing, where he tore apart Luton from that position. But yes, it was Luton at Stamford Bridge. And then you play Mudryk on the left, maybe. But I wouldn't want to mess with it. We seemingly got the balance right with the midfield with Conor Gallagher in there. And in the absence of number 10 profile positional players like Nkunku and Chukwuemeka, I think we continue playing this 4-3-3. So that's not a massive issue. Trevor Chalobah is a weird one. He's yet to feature for Pochettino. Huge talk he's going to go in January. And if they have no return day, another month or two goes by, do you bring him in to risk another injury before you sell him, especially when the likes of Thomas Tuchel at Bayern Munich's out there willing to buy him? I just wonder, I'm just speculating here, I'm just guessing there could be a chance that we never see Trevo Chalobah in a Chelsea shirt again. Maybe. Another player worth speaking about is Armando Broja, who has also rather frustratingly had a setback in his recovery and is also being monitored, apparently. I think Nazar Kinsella of The Standard wrote about this. Yes, another frustrating one, but to be honest, while Nico is looking good and playing well, we can probably, survive without him, especially when you can play, if you're in a pinch, you could play Mudryk or Sterling down the middle. That's okay. We'll survive without Armando Broja for the moment, but hopefully it's just Chelsea being precautious, really, really careful, and not rushing him back in, but yeah, I am a bit worried about Broja, as well as I am Reece James. Young players with recurring injury problems. A lot of you guys mentioned Ian Robin when I was speaking about players who had injury problems recurring when they were younger, went on and had wonderful careers. And also someone said Harry Kane. Yeah, I guess so as well. Harry Kane's always available at the moment, so hope for Reece James and Armando Broja moving forwards. I want to speak about Romeo Lavia, because obviously he's been a huge talking point, and Yeah, Fabrizio Romano called it Chelsea mystery in his video today. It's a Chelsea mystery. What's going on with Romeo Lavia? You know, spent about £60 million on this teenager who's yet to feature. I mean, when I speak, I think he's still a teenager. I think he's still 19, possibly 20. But you know, when I speak about all these young players that Chelsea are investing in, I always forget about him because he costs so much friggin' money. Fabrizio Romano reiterated that Chelsea maintain their position that this is an excellent purchase despite the massive fee paid and the fact how he's just got injury problems and injury setbacks in training as well. It's so lame. But the point hammered home is Chelsea think they've got an absolutely superb player here, and the money they paid for him, you know, up to 58 million quid, will be reflected on as a good deal. And in that case, we have to assume as fans and football fans, Chelsea fans, and people just interested in football media, that he's going to be a key player. I mean, he has to be for that money. You know, Cole Palmer cost 40 million quid. He's a starter for Chelsea now. This kid cost potentially 18 million quid more than that. You have to assume he's going to start. I know you could say, well, yeah, and you paid 62 million for Cucurella, and he's not necessarily a starter. True, but Cucurella has been playing, granted in different positions. I have to think as well, if Pochettino over time leans more and more towards this three-man midfield as opposed to a double pivot and a 10, then the likes of Romeo Lavia is the kind of functional midfielder that Chelsea will look to. You won't be playing an Nkunku as a number 8, do you know what I mean? You play him as a striker, second striker, maybe a number 10 or maybe off the left. You don't play him any deeper in midfield. So you keep your midfielders like the current three, Caicedo, Fernandes, Gallagher. You add the likes of Ugochukwu and Lavia, and suddenly you have, you know, different options in that midfield three. But it's interesting with Lavia because he's been a talking point. But Romano decided, like, he wanted to speak about this in the video, like, Chelsea think they've got an amazing player here. And yes, they believe, like, you know, they'll have the last laugh with Romeo Lavia. All right, we'll talk about Mudryk now, and we'll end on the expected points or the expected position table. Yes, so Mudryk, yeah, he scored his first goal against for his country, for Ukraine, against Malta last night, and it was a hammer of a goal. This is part of what Mudryk's got in his locker, and this is what I was saying before when I was listening to that in-depth analysis of Mykhailo Mudryk on The Athletic by Adam Crafton, who went and followed the story when he was being linked to Arsenal, you know, when he was covering the story then, and said, look, this kid is incredibly fast. He's an incredibly fast dribbler. He can run fast off the ball. He can carry the ball very, very fast. He can dribble. He can do combinations in the box. He can take a man on 1v1 in the box. And he can absolutely rifle a shot and hit it so hard, like, and make these unsavable shots. Now, it was an amazing goal. It wasn't like one of the best goals you've ever seen, but it was a long-range goal, and he absolutely hammered it in. And we've been waiting to see Mykhailo Mudryk do that, you know, hammer it in. And now, over time, granted it's taken a while to settle, and yes, you know, I almost feel like we're obligated to say there's so many mitigating circumstances for why he hasn't hit the ground running at Chelsea. You know, chiefly because Chelsea was a circus and, you know, is only just not becoming a bit of a circus since he arrived, but also everything that's going on in his home country. And, you know, the transfer saga as well, you know, the aforementioned Arsenal saga, and the fact how, you know, he wanted to go to Arsenal, we wanted a big move, let's just, you know, not be silly here, but he now then wanted to go to Chelsea, you know. It's not like he hated the idea of going to Chelsea. Chelsea are recent European champions, they paid a lot of money for him, he gets 96k a week, probably quadrupled his salary. It's an amazing opportunity for him. But it's taking time, and now we can see that can move really fast. You know, Ben Chilwell, I saw on Cy Phillips's X account, or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, he was reiterating a quote from Ben Chilwell, who of course has been a little bit of a sort of a mentor figure to Mudryk since he's arrived at Chelsea, saying that he's the fastest guy I've ever seen in football. You know, he is the fastest guy I've ever seen in football. And was it one of the French guys as well? I can't remember who it was, whether it might have been Wesley Fofana or... It could have been like Badiashile or Disasi or someone saying who's faster, Mbappe or Mudryk, and they're like, oh, Mudryk's faster. High praise indeed to against that international teammate Mbappe. Not saying he's better than Mbappe, but talking about speed. So we've seen the speed, we've seen the combinational play, we've seen him link up with Nico. Of course, he does like to dribble. We haven't seen him demonstrate he hasn't done like a take on then goal yet. We want to see that. But now we've seen, a good goal for Chelsea, splitting defenders, taking it on the chest and slotting it confidently, finishing well. And now we've seen him do one of those long-range hammer shots, which he can do. This is only going to be good for him. He's got his first Premier League goal for Chelsea. He got his first international goal for Ukraine. These are huge, huge steps for him, and hopefully all work towards cultivating his confidence and becoming the player we all know he can become. Cool. So, let's talk points then, baby. Let's talk about points, baby. Oh, not that. Here we go. Bang. From the Premier League. Points table, expected goals table. So this isn't expected points, this is expected goals. As you can see, rather horrendously and unsettlingly, Spurs and Arsenal on top of the Premier League. In IRL, in real life, Chelsea are 11th. Jeez, I thought we'd done better than 11th with the wins. I suppose one of the wins was in the cup, but still, the bottom half. We're in the bottom half. I was going to say top half, but no, we're still in the bottom half. But on expected goals, we are 4th, which actually is really, really positive. Because if you look at Liverpool, people are talking about Liverpool in a title race. Spurs in 7th place for expected goals. Man United pretty much where they should be. But, Brighton, this is really, really good stuff from Chelsea. I mean, I don't understand what's going on with Everton now. I know everyone said Everton were playing a lot better than the points, but to be 5th for expected goals under Sean Dyche is wild. Nothing short of crazy. But Chelsea above Liverpool for expected goals in the league. And people are talking about Liverpool like title contenders. And if you look at Spurs sit at the top of the Premier League in points. And yes, points are what count, but 7th for expected goals. So they've been winning games 1-0. They haven't necessarily been carving out loads of chances, but when they get chances, Son converts or someone converts and they score it. Or Maddison, it looks like he's settled in really, really well at Tottenham Hotspur. That offers me calm and comfort because to me, that means it's unsustainable for Spurs to stay where they are, which, let's be honest, we all want. we all want to see it. Well, it's unrealistic. Look, if you look at the data, mate, they're not going to stay at the top of the Premier League. Oh, good. Thank you, doctor. Just what I needed to hear. Good day and goodbye. And yes, I hope now, obviously I said it before quite a few times that, the underlying data shows Chelsea are a lot better than the results, and no one wanted to hear it. I got accused of being toxic positivity or something like that, which I'm really not trying to do. I'm just trying to look at things holistically, and if I can make my viewers feel better from talking about certain elements of the game, I'm going to do that, and that's just what I like to do, and that's my way of things. And again, this is just further evidence that Chelsea, offensively wise, are playing really well. Then, they're having the ball where they want it in the opposition third. They're playing between the lines well, and their defensive stats are good. Maybe after another couple of games' time, after Arsenal, we can look at Chelsea holistically. How is the defence compared with the attack? And how do we look as a team now? Under Pochettino, Chelsea, we've seen frustrating results, but as a footballing side, in terms of performances in game, how do we look as a team? Do we look like a team that know what we're doing? Does the defence look settled? Does the midfield look functional? And does the offence look creative? I always feel like being Chelsea, like we have been these last few years, Chelsea are going to be far away from clinical. I feel like we'll be creative. We're often creative, and that's good. That's a big step. But I've almost got a reflex of, if someone asks you, are Chelsea clinical? I'm just going to say no. Without even thinking, without even looking at the data, that is where the eye test prevails massively. Are Chelsea clinical? No, sir. No. Not clinical. Haven't been clinical for a long time. Still, I want to hear what you guys think. Please do leave your comments on the stuff I've spoken about, the injuries. Lavia, that's an interesting one, I think. Mudryk, super goal and his development. And how you feel we're doing generally as a team under Pochettino, and are we moving in the right direction? So yes, I want to thank you once again for joining me. Feel free to join the... Yeah, I can't talk today, I'm so tired. Feel free to like and subscribe. Alright guys, I'm going to go and take a rest. Hopefully see you back soon. Peace.